Okay. Here we are in Centennial Park for the Clean Energy, Clean Air Festival. This is an Earth Challenge benefit, and we have speech of Arrested Development performing behind us. So we're waiting for Michelle Malone and the Indigo Girls coming up soon. Here we are in Centennial Park. This is a clean air, clean energy. Hi, this is Centennial Park. This is the Georgia Clean Energy, Clean Air Festival. It's a benefit for the group Earth Challenge. They're a group that goes around on their bicycles across the country, and they warn people about environmental problems in their areas. So it's a good cause, and it's a lot of fun. Speech for Arrested Development is on stage now. Indigo Girls are coming up. Yay! Is it going? Hello, you're joining us for the Georgia Clean Air, Clean Energy Festival. This is the Earth Challenge benefit, and we're in Centennial Park. It's a beautiful day. Speech, formerly of Arrested Development, is performing behind us. It's great, and we're looking forward to whatever's coming next.
water quality, prevention, and control of toxins, climate, habitat, energy, and population.
Jane Fonda has long been known for activism and advocacy on environmental issues, human rights, and the empowerment of women and girls. We welcome her to the Georgia Clean Energy, Clean Air Festival. Y'all give it up for Jane Fonda.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to Indigo Girls and Earth Challenge and all the artists that have been here today. And thank you all for being here. I live in Grant Park and our Halloween parade is today. That's why I'm in costume. I don't have time to change afterwards, so, you know, but it's okay, right? But I don't have my makeup on yet because I don't want to scare my grandson, so I have to let him see me put the makeup on so he'll know what I am and not be scared. You know what I mean. Okay. Thank you, little friends, for being up here with me. I'm going to brag a little bit on myself. I drove here, but my car's electric. Actually, it's hybrid electric. It gets 75 miles to the gallon. So think about that if and when you buy another and individually. But you know what? It's not enough. If we don't get people elected to office that care about the environment, and it takes a village to raise a child, and about children, and usually the two go together. Usually people who care about environment care about kids, and not just when they're the fetus, but after they're born as well. So let's not vote for people that are in the pockets of special interests. Let's not vote for people who don't care about the Alaskan pristine wilderness. Let's not care about people who don't care about, let's not vote for people who don't care about clean air. Do I need to say more? I'm wearing a button. Let's not vote for people who don't care about reproductive rights and women's right to choose, which is very fundamental. And just one more thing, I've been dealing with my kids on this, you know, because they're, you know, like all of us, very idealistic, and so they're gonna, you know, they wanted to vote for, you know, Nader. And I just want to say something. I know where they're coming from. This is no time to make a point. I am not young. I have been around a long time. Never in my life has so much been at stake. It is so close that we cannot afford to vote with our heart and souls. We have to vote pragmatically with our heads and not try to make a point. Thank you very much. God bless. Thank you. Thank you.
Challenge, awesome organization. And you can help them out by buying books with this coupon at the Border store on Ponce anytime from Friday, November 10th to Sunday the 12th. And 15% of your purchase during these days will be donated to Earth Challenge. That's really cool. But you have to bring the coupon, so don't forget to bring the coupon. And on Sunday the 12th, Michelle Malone's going to be playing at the Borders on Ponce. So please come support her. Thanks.
For today, this is all solar power. That's pretty cool. Also, we have people carrying around little trick-or-treat pumpkins, and we ask you to make a donation to Earth Challenge to help fund their work and this event, which is free. But we ask you to make a donation or buy a t-shirt at the t-shirt stand. Every little bit helps, you know, $1 here, $1 there. Before Michelle Malone goes on, we have a special guest that's going to come out and do a song for y'all. Please welcome Wendy Young.
Your homes and stand in line till the ship boss comes to tell you you must trail her out on time. Can't you feel the rock dust in your lungs? It'll cut down a miner when he's still young. 2 years and the silicosis takes hold, and I feel like I'm dying from mining for gold. Yes, I feel like I'm dying from mining for gold. Thanks, you guys, for being here.
All right. We got a really great act coming up. She's got a lot of CDs out. She's working on a brand new one. She's been hitting the Atlanta scene for a long time, and we're lucky to have her here. I want to thank her for donating her time today. Please welcome Michelle Malone.
Turn off my TV without seeing something that I don't want to see. Just turn on the front page and new tragedy on Channel 2. Versus if I have to buy something will make me happy. Ever long will I end now to open up your veil. Maybe the regulator from your bill. You have me life to hold on to. I got luck without a clue. I got a guitar, but I haven't got any blues. You drove your car into the rail. Hey, little star, your engine failed. You lack the rust and dollar pale. Can I shine for you? I gotta go, taking all my time. I got a plot I'll back, but you run out of trouble. Don't give me anything to hold. You keep your diary in bone. I never said I wanted to, but it just looks so. I got golden and I'm growing patience, and my green thumb has become so like that. I got golden and I'm growing patience. Is there anything Is there anything that you need me to do? 'Cause I can see that your will is gone. You say you don't have the strength to try. Well, I have got the strength for two tonight. Remember back when we first fell in love? Stars that shine. And then someday you would be mine. But you like to hide. You have to say goodbye. Come on, Mom. You say you love me when I start to cry.
She has given us. Turn around to your neighbor and say, neighbor, I am thankful for the life that Mother Earth has given me. And I am going to do everything to protect her better in 2001. You know, you look good out here, but I'm telling you, you're not making enough noise about what's going on. You're not acting up. It seems like you're accepting all of this pollution and contamination and quietly suffering. Yeah, I'm here to tell you, but I can tell by your faces that that is about to change. Am I correct? Now, earlier, Mary Olson told you what MOX is. Now, listen here. I live in Savannah, Georgia. I'm at the end of the pipe of the water line that comes from the monster that she was talking about called the Savannah River Site. Now, the Department of Energy has given us a wonderful gift this year. To add to the wonderful gift that they gave us last year. Last year they gave us a wonderful mission of accepting 15,000 spent nuclear fuel rods coming from Europe. Ain't that nice? Y'all like that? Oh, well, I know you, no, well, let me give you the other gift and then you might feel a little different. In addition to dealing with the 15,000 spent nuclear fuel rods, this year we got the mission of disposing the 50 metric tons of weapons grade plutonium. So they're adding insult to injury. And the little communities that surround that big monster needs your help. We need you to act up. We need you to help us act up. Now, we are a little itty-bitty African-American organization, but we have joined hands with our allies because pollution knows no color line. It affects whites, blacks, browns, reds. If you are a human being, you are infected or affected. Now, when I say what I have to say next, because I know you want to get to the music, but I want to leave a little something on your mind. We're gonna kick the polluters right out of town. We're gonna kick those polluters right out of town. Oh yeah, because we are sick and tired of being sick and tired. But most of all, we are sick of seeing the people die. We're gonna kick those polluters right out of town. Now they have given the Savannah River site the MOX mission, mixed oxide fuel fabrication. So when I say NICS, you say MOX. When I say NICS, you say MOX. NICS. 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 When I say no, you say nukes. When I say no, you say nukes. No. 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 When I say green, you say power. When I say green, you say power. Green. 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 Now the reason why I'm here, I'm a little excited, y'all. Because I get real excited when we work for the people. And I always remember the little thing that my grandmother told me. Because there are 3 out of every 4 hazardous waste sites located in a poor or people of color community. And we need all of you to begin to speak out with your vote and your voice. Your vote and your voice. When I say vote, you say voice. When I say vote, you say voice. Vote. 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 So make sure that your vote counts and make sure you act up this year. I'm not going to say much more because I see they're getting ready for the fun part, but I just had to come all the way from Savannah on my own, paid my way up here, brought 13 young African Americans with me so that I want you to know we are serious about this thing. So in 2001, I expect to see more than what I see out here today. So I want you to promise me that when we come back next year, you're going to bring 10 more people who are aware of what's going on with Mother Earth. Can I get that commitment by you saying yes? All right, there's a little thing that we always do before we get out of here. It's called Harambe. And Harambe in the language of Kiswahili means
Hey, y'all. Oh, look at you. Look beautiful. It's amazing. It's nice to see so many people from Atlanta, Georgia come together. It's a very important event. It's about a lot more than just the music. I mean, I know everybody's having a good time, but we're here for a reason. And there are specific steps that we can all take as members of this community to make change, because all human beings have a right to breathe clean air and drink clean water. There are some coal-fired power plants owned by the Southern Company in the state of Georgia. They're responsible. They're the second largest polluter, the second largest producer of emissions in the state. The problem is that a lot of these old coal-fired power plants are protected by a grandfather clause in the Clean Air Act. And what that means is that they don't have to hold up to the same standards of reduced emissions that legislation would provide for because they're older. And so these action cards that are being passed around, and if you haven't gotten one, there are going to be volunteers in the blue staff shirts walking around and passing these out. And they're a way for you to write to your Congress people and let them know that you want those loopholes tied up, because that's the only way they're going to change. Y'all, they're picking profits over people. There's no reason why they can't be held responsible to hold up to the same environmental standards. So y'all can make a big difference in this. So we need to tie up the loopholes in the grandfather clause in the Clean Air Act. We need federal legislation. There are acts that are pending in the Congress. The states are not enough. You know, it's going to have to be a combination of everybody working together. And I think, you know, most importantly right now, we have an election coming up. This election is, I mean, in some ways, it's turned out to be disgusting because it's like a popularity contest, or who shrugs the most, or who looks the best, who has the, you know, comes across the best on TV and stuff like that. But this really needs to be an election about issues. These are affecting our lives, not only as Atlantans and Georgians, but just as human beings. So please vote. First and foremost, vote. And when you vote, pick the candidates who are going to support these environmental measures. Pick the candidates who are going to close the loopholes, provide protection for y'all. That's why we're here. All right, I want to tell you about one other thing. This is a specific thing. Everybody wants to know, what can we do to help encourage green power? There's a program that the Tennessee Valley Authority, the TVA, enacted in their area, and it's the Green Power Switch. For $4 a month, you can vote. Southern Company, which is the umbrella company for all of our local utilities here in Georgia, is on the verge, if there's enough public support for it, of creating a dialogue and enacting this. This is very important, because if we can start with telling the people as consumers that we want green power, then they will start investing in that, and they'll start creating it for us. All it takes is our voice. There's 3 ways you can do this. One way is to get in touch with your local utility and tell them that you want a green power plan that's similar to the Tennessee Valley Authorities. The other thing is you can talk to your state legislator, call them on the phone, write them a letter, send them a fax, send them an email, and tell them you're interested in this as well. Also, there's a state agency called the Public Service Commission, and they have a very big effect on this, and they can make this happen. So that's something that you guys can do very specifically. I want to say that me and Emily just got back from a month-long tour across the United States, working with a group we call Honor the Earth. This group funds environmental work in communities led by indigenous activists. These communities are preyed upon by large companies, large utilities, coal mining, nuclear, uranium dumping, uranium mining, and they're treated as this disenfranchised communities just to turn a profit, to dump their stuff on there, or to go in there and mine without any interest in public health issues. And I want you guys to tie this together, because when you turn your lights on, this is like a sweatshop issue. When you turn your lights on, you're affecting people, you're affecting yourself, but you're also affecting communities that have less power than we have sometimes. And you need to remember that. This is a public health and a human rights issue, and this is important for us. Okay? So Honor the Earth has gone across and worked with communities across the United States to try to encourage sustainable power and to try to encourage these utilities to clean up their acts. And we end up back here in Georgia to tell you that Georgia is connected with every other community that we've been to because we're all dealing with the same issues. But we're one of the worst polluters. Our power plants are the top 3 in emissions in this nation. And that's really embarrassing. And so I want all of us to not be apathetic. I want us to really work for change. You agree? Good. Good. I'm glad you agree. So fill out those cards. Turn them in. We have the privilege of introducing a speaker to y'all. She's a woman from a small community in Utah.
Squaw Indian Reservation in Utah. Thank you. I am very honored and privileged to be standing before you today, this afternoon, to inform you of what's going on with our reservation. Our reservation is a small reservation. There is 124 members and 69 adults. And this is kind of hard for me to be able to stand before you and express how I really feel because I am angered by this movement to target our Native American reservation for the sake of the large corporation and for the sacrifice of our people. Our little organization is called Ongogada Ndivya OGDA. It was formed in May 31st, 1997 because our tribal council had went before the Northern State Powers, which is Excel now, under the name of Private Fuel Storage Limited Liability Consortium or Company. And they have gone to them and asked them to store their nuclear waste on our reservation. And our former chairman had stated that we are going to save our nation's disparity and to store the nuclear waste on our reservation. It was in the intention of DOE under the MRS days in the 90s, early 90s to store the nuclear waste at Yucca Mountain. But that Yucca Mountain is out of the question now, and it won't be for a number of years. But however, our small reservation will be a temporary storage site. On December 1996, a lease was signed to store the nuclear waste on 820 acres of our native land, of which 99 acres will be in excess, which will be restricted. On June 1997, applications for licensing before the NRC began. And there are 7 utilities. Northern State Powers, which is called Excel now from Minnesota. Also the Illinois Power in Illinois, Michigan Power Company of Indiana, Southern Nuclear Operation Company of Georgia, which is your nuclear power plant, and Consolidated Edison of New York, GPU Nuclear Corporation of Pennsylvania, and Genoa Fuel Tech Incorporated. We have other organizations that are supporting this, which is the Supports Transportation Board, the Bureau of Indian Affairs, and Bureau of Land Management in Utah. There will be 4,000 casks of spent nuclear fuel. Each cask will contain 10 metric tons of uranium. NRC has certified Haltech dual-purpose cask system. The system consists of metal canister, a shipping and storage cask. High Star would only be used for shipping by private fuel storage, and a storage cask, High Storm. And this nuclear waste have a history of devastation causing cancer among our Native Americans, starting with uranium. Just this past summer, a Native American, Dorothy Purley, who had worked in the uranium mines in Laguna and New Mexico, had passed away of cancer. And they also wanted to store the nuclear waste at Yucca Mountain, which as the Indigo Girls had stated, is the home of the Western Shoshones. Excuse me. In Utah, Peterson Senate Bill 196 required PFS, Private Fuel Storage, to pay $5 million application filing fee required to prepare numerous detailed documents in support of its applications and to pay state entire cost of reviewing the materials. And they've also posted a $2 million cash bond to ensure for the cleanup. Ever since the MRS monitored retrievable storage issue had been introduced to the Squaw Valley Band of Goshutes by our local paper, the Tuala Bulletin, in 1992, it had
at the hands of especially dirty energy corporations. We've experienced firsthand the suffering in these places, and it's really stricken us. It's really painful to visit with these people and see their suffering, and we wanted to create something that would enable other folks to spend time in these communities also, so that's Earth Challenge. And we wanted to do it in a way that was inspiring and gave people the space to think about what they were experiencing, and thus the bike ride. And also the bike is a clean form of transportation that we really want to promote. So we've taken people like these folks here to communities all across the country, all the way from here to Yucca Mountain last year, all the way from Connecticut to Atlanta this year. And believe me, we wish we could take all of you to these places so that you could feel what it's like to be there, so that you would really know how important it is to make the change that we're asking for. This stage is solar powered. This is a huge production here. I just want to impress upon you, this is a 30,000 watt system, and they didn't even use 80% of the battery power that they had to power this huge event. Our whole mission is to demonstrate the viability of sustainable energy sources. This is a huge demonstration of that, and you are a really big part of a great effort to prove that, so thank you. I just want to give you to Lee Lytle now, my fine friend and business partner, so she can, she's from Atlanta, I'm actually from Connecticut, so she can speak to what's happening here.
Thank you all for coming out today. You should give yourselves a big hand for being here. It's a great turnout. The reason why we did this event was to get people active, get you involved. How many of you are sick of the air quality in Atlanta? Well, this is your opportunity to do something about it. You can learn about all kinds of sustainable energy sources you can implement in your homes and your daily lives, conservation efforts. You can sign the action cards that we have out today circulating throughout the crowds. And please visit the tents with the nonprofit organizations that work on these issues. Find out how you can get involved. They're here, they're in your community. You need to be a part of this work. If you're sick of it, you got to join in the solution to it. Really want to thank everybody that made this event happen with so many volunteers, so many wonderful people that poured their energy into this to make this day be what it is. And looking out at all of you, there's so many people here in support of this. I hope that each one of you will leave knowing that you have the power to make a difference. And when you go and vote on November 7th, please remember these issues. You got to think about this. This is our future. This is our environment. We can't be here without it. Thanks.
insatiable. When lightning starts to call, it's hard to hear. I wrap my feet around me like a blanket, and I sing my ship of safety till I sink it. I'm crawling on the shores, breathing. And I went to the doctor, I went to the mountains, and I looked to the children, and I drank from the fountains. Yeah, but there's more than one answer to these questions. Going to the end of the crooked line. Yes, I see my soul's closer I am. Closer I am to find, yeah. I went to see the doctor of philosophy. It's with a poster of Rasputin and a beard down to his knee. He never did marry or see a big great movie, but he created my performance. He said he could sit through me, so I spent 4 years prostrate to the high of mine. I got my favorite hours, and I went to the doctor. I went to the mountains, and I looked to the children, and I drank from the fountains. Yeah, but there's more than one answer to these questions. Pointing the best I see, my source was I said. Closer I am to find, I stopped by the bar at 3 a.m. to seek solace in a bottle, or possibly a friend. Oh, I woke up with a headache like my head against the board. I was twice as cloudy as I'd been the night before. Oh, people. I went to the doctor, I went to the mountains, and I looked to the children, and I drank from the fountains. Yeah, we go to the doctor, we go to the mountains, we look to the children, we drink from the fountains. Yeah, we go to the Bible, we go through the workout, we read up on revival, and we stand up. There's more than one answer to all these questions. Just keep quiet every night. The best I see, my source was I says. Closer I am to find. Closer I am to find, yeah. Thanks, y'all. Thanks for singing. Hey, we got Michelle Malone here, gonna sit in with us tonight. Yeah. The moon is almost full, and you don't need to I said it's funny, I think we were on the same boat back in 1694. I said, nah, shame on you. I've been innocent. La, 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 shame on you. I said, shame on you. I've been innocent. La, 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 shame on you. I said, shame on you. There's no roadblock tripping in the middle of the night up in a Gainesville town. Yeah. And the parking lot is empty. Everyone's gone someplace. Pick you up in a trunk out fast, cooler in a dirty suitcase. There's a place we like to drive. We are in the country. 5 miles out of the city, baby, we're singing, and your hands are by my knee. So we're okay, we're fine, baby, I'm here to stop your crying. She saw the ghost from your head. I'm stronger than the monster beneath your bed, smarter than the tricks played on your heart. Look at them together, then we'll take them apart. And adding up the total of a love that's true, multiply life by the power of 2. You know the things that I am afraid of, I'm not afraid to tell. If we ever leave a legacy, it's that we loved each other well. I see the shadows of so many people, destroying all the treasures of youth. That's all of our love that's true.